What's good, YouTube? It's Quinn Wade, basketball analysis, coming to y'all with another video. Check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. Also, check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. If you want a t-shirt, you can message me on Facebook. I got different type of logos and images. You can get any color shirt, or you can change the logo on the shirt. Just message me on Facebook if you're interested. What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade, basketball analysis, coming to y'all with a quick video. We're going to talk about Jahlil Okafor signing a contract with the New Orleans Pelicans. I'm going to tell you what I think about the Pelicans and what I think about Jahlil Okafor. But this is a weird fit, and the reason why I say that is mostly because they picked up Julius Randle. If you think about Anthony Davis, you think about this athletic guy that's mobile, that can shoot threes, that can shoot mid-range, that's dominant in the pick and roll, especially when you have a guard of the caliber as Drew Holiday, a guy that can get to the paint, hit the three, and knock down mid-range jumpers and floaters. That's like a perfect combination. But when you think about Julius Randle, when you think about Jahlil Okafor, you think more of outdated, not modern, not really dominant offensive players. And then you also think about, do they really fit with what you're trying to do, Anthony Davis? Now, one thing I did want to see was Nerlens Noel and Anthony Davis, because they would have been two athletic bigs. One can play center, one can play power forward, and then they can be a matchup nightmare defensively because they can switch, they can guard the pick and roll, they can block shots and contest shots, and they can clear a lot of space. So I thought that was interesting. But then again, they wouldn't have Drew Holiday because that's what they traded for. But when you think about it like that, Drew Holiday has been a perfect fit alongside Anthony Davis. But when I think about Jahlil Okafor signing this contract, this is more of a, I got to take the best deal for me. I got to stay in the NBA type of deal. But I told you guys when he signed, not signed, but when he got traded to the Brooklyn Nets basically as a salary dump, he played 26 games, only got 12.6 minutes. He gave you 56% from the field, 6.5 points a game, obviously 3 rebounds. But you got to think about when he was healthy and played a lot of games his rookie year, he gave you 17 points, 50% from the field, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 block a game with only 2.3 turnovers a game, and he gave you 30 minutes. When the Philadelphia 76ers played him 22 minutes, he still gave you 11 points, 4.8 rebounds, 1.2 assists, 1 block a game, and he still shot 50% from the field. Now, Jahlil Okafor, his numbers are not mind-blowing. They're not this crazy MVP. He's not that type of guy, but he can give you quality minutes. Is he a defensive liability? Yes. He's a bad help defender. They're going to continue to put him in switches so they can attack those slow feet. They're going to continue to find ways to exploit him by trying to make him guard jump shots, because if he gets switches, they're going to hit him with a 3, they're going to hit him with a pull-up, or they're going to, blow right past him. Worst case scenario, he's a help defender, and then they just use him as a guy that doesn't have the lateral quickness or the speed, especially since he had the knee injuries. He only got worse laterally. That really hurts him too, because now you're going against these athletic 4s and 5s that can beat him off the dribble without even switching to a guard. So he is a defensive liability. We knew that coming into the draft, but we still seen him get selected in that top 5 at the end of the day. So if it was all about defense, it was that major concern, he would have never went that high in the draft. He would have never even went to college and dominated even in college. And like I said, the Philadelphia 76ers was fine with keeping him. They drafted him. They played him when Joel Embiid wasn't healthy. He was able to go up there and put numbers. Now his numbers were good. He was on pace to win Rookie of the Year before Karl Anthony Towns started taking off as he got injured. So at the end of the day, I think Jahlil Okafor is still a solid player for the NBA. He has his weaknesses just like every other player, but this guy has found ways to evolve his game so that way he can still play the type of game that he wants, but at the same time find ways to be effective. So his post game is kind of revolutionary. He has all the spin moves. He has all the finishes. He has the hook shot. He has the soft touch. He can obviously dunk the basketball. And I like it. If you can score 17 points a game in the NBA when you're getting 30 minutes a game, even when you're getting 22 minutes a game, you're giving us 11. That means he kind of remind me a little bit of Greg Monroe. And I just talked about him not too long ago. And if these players were so bad, if they were so bad defensively, if they were so bad offensively, and they wasn't modernized, why do Jahlil Okafor and why do Greg Monroe got a roster spot? So that's my argument when I seen him get traded to the Nets is if you want Jahlil Okafor, he's going to be available because he's not going to have as many people. But Greg Monroe and Jahlil Okafor have the same type of problems offensively and defensively, but they still continue to make rosters and they still continue to get playing time. So I think Jahlil Okafor can come in as a seventh or eighth guy. That's kind of sad because he's so young that one minute he was supposed to be the next big thing. Now he's a guy that's barely on the roster. But at the end of the day, he has work ethic. He wants to continue to get better. He's a student of the game. He wants to be a sponge. And I've seen the improvements. Like I said, if you go back and watch his high school footage and you go watch his NBA footage as a rookie, his advanced post moves was there. He added more ball handling. He had a little 12 and in jump shot. And he was a solid rebounder, better than what people thought. Now, his rebounding is another problem. He's not as athletic. He's not as mobile. And like I said, he only got worse with the knee injury. But if you're going to play him 15 to 20 minutes, he can come in and give you double-digit points. And that's going to be good enough to give him enough playing time because he's a matchup nightmare. If you're big, he's going to use his speed and quickness of his ball handling to get shots off clean, and he's not the best finisher around the rim, but in that area, he's shooting 50%, and he's going to get a lot of easy baskets for you. So he is a guy that you can throw the ball to, and he can get you a basket. I think even with the injuries, he still can do that, and that's probably a big reason why he's still in the NBA is because all else fails, throw the ball to Jahlil Okafor on the bench. While he's playing against bench players, and he can torch them. He can give you four field goals a game, and that don't even include putbacks. That don't even include free throw shooting. So I still think he can give you 10, 12 points if you give him 15 to 20 minutes. And I don't think that's out of the question when you look at this New Orleans roster. Who like other than Drew Holiday and Anthony Davis, who are they really going to rely on? Emeka Okafor is not going to give you much. Alfred Payton is not going to score much. Julius Randle has never scored over 20 points a game. Jahlil Okafor averaged more points than Julius Randle, and he's more athletic and more mobile than Julius Randle. Julius Randle best year was 16 points a game. Jahlil Okafor gave you 17 points a game. And they both was on bad teams, and they both was putting up empty stats. But Jahlil Okafor was better as a rookie than Julius Randle. And like I said, when you look at the top to bottom of this roster, they need players that can give them baskets, and they don't have as much salary cap. They don't have as much flexibility. So to me, they basically try to pick up the best valuable talent that they could in their price range, in their budget, and it ended up being Julius Randle for $10 million a year, and it ended up being Julius Randle on a 1-year deal where he's going to have the flexibility to either want to stay or just go and try free agency again and try to get on another team. But this is a prove-it year for Jahlil Okafor. He has to prove that he can still play. He got to prove that he can still bring value to a team. He has to prove that he can still find a way to fit into an offense or even become probably a 6th, 7th man off that bench that you can constantly rely on throughout his career, because that's going to be his biggest problem. What can Jahlil Okafor bring to the table right now? And besides his ability to be a good isolation scorer, other than that, he hasn't really shown anything else. So I do want to see how his career plays out. Will he be able to get a 2-3 year deal? Will he be able to be just a journeyman? Will he be a guy that finally finds that spot where they believe in him and they make him a starter? Or will he just be a 6th man off the bench, kind of like what Greg Monroe was with the Bucks last year? Or even with Phoenix, and just come in and give you double-digit baskets, help your offense while your stars are getting the rest, and, beat up the smaller guards and switches, rebound over the smaller guards and switches. And if you get switched on, you got Anthony Davis to clean you up because he can rotate and clear a lot of space and try to block shots if you get beat off the dribble. But if he's drawn too far from the rim, then he got to find a way to make that happen. So at the end of the day, this is a crossroad for his career. it's another team giving him another try. It's another team giving him the benefit of the doubt, and he probably had worked out for them to see if they really was interested. And like I said, for the Pelicans, they don't really lose anything but a roster spot. But Jahlil Okafor to me is still an NBA caliber player. I think he still does belong in the NBA, and the Pelicans believe it too because they gave him a contract and it's actually fully guaranteed. So the only thing they can really do is waive him by the trade deadline, or they can, if he get injured, just release him and then fill it with somebody else. But he is one of the better players in the league, and he does deserve a roster spot. I haven't given up on him. I still think he can come in and give you a good contribution. But will he be that number one pick? Will he be that next generation center? It seems like it's not going to happen. He had a lot of hype in high school, had a lot of hype in college, and this is the opposite of what we all thought. I wasn't a big rah-rah Jahlil Okafor person, but this is not the way I seen his career going, especially after I seen him play his rookie year and give you 17 points a game and show that he can score on this level and he can be decently efficient at that. So it's kind of weird to see him after that 1 year just collapse. He didn't want to be in Philly. He wanted to get traded out. They traded him to Brooklyn. He didn't have a good year in Brooklyn, but he gets another opportunity with the Pelicans, and they need his help. They need his offense, and they're going to rely on him to push that bench, especially offensively when AD and Julius Randle is off the court, to really punish these other players and these weaker players. That's another good thing. He's not going to be playing that much minutes against starting caliber bigs, which means he should be able to get you some good points, and he probably might even shoot the ball even efficiently. But this is one of those positions where if he gets another injury, or he doesn't play well, or he doesn't adapt and evolve a little bit more, this could be the, very well end of Jahlil Okafor career, that we thought he would be the next big man, the next franchise player. In high school, he was the number one pick, and then in college, he was still one of the number 2 or number 3, and even in the beginning of the season, number 1 pick. And then to see him fall off and see Towns come to the Rookie of the Year and the All-Star and All-NBA player, and even see D'Angelo Russell still getting minutes as on the Brooklyn Nets, and he might find a home there. It's kind of weird seeing that the guy that we all, what the media thought and the scouts thought would be the best player in that draft, barely be able to hang on to his NBA career and clinging onto the Pelicans to change his career. I didn't see this coming. I didn't think it would happen this quick, but the NBA is a business. You have to continue to work on your game. You have to continue to evolve, and you have to continue to think in that mindset that somebody can take your spot. Nothing is guaranteed, and they can always replace you. If you got those things in the back of your mind, it should always push you to strive for greatness. It should always push you to get better. And if you're not doing it, they're going to find the next guy that has potential, the next guy that can become a superstar, or even the next guy that can possibly be a project that they willing to invest years in, or even send to the G League. So this is a humbling experience for Jahlil Okafor. He was a guy that had a lot of confidence. He thought that he was going to dominate on this level, and then after suffering that knee injury, his career is barely even going at this point, which is sad, but it's the reality of the business. And he basically was a bust and a flop at this point, but he still has time. He still is young. He's still on the roster, and he still has time to correct his career. He's only 22 years old. He'll be 23 in December, so he's still got a long career, but he has to start focusing and working on it right now, so he can continue to stay in the league and eventually find a home and possibly get back to where he fell off from, which was a solid starter in the NBA, and now he's just a rotational big that's on and off a roster possibly, or even out of the league if he doesn't play well or get injured this year. So that's crazy. None of us seen this coming, but it is reality at this point. Check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. Like on Facebook to show support. If you want a t-shirt, I have multiple t-shirts, multiple colors. You can change the color of the logo. You can change the shirt that you want. If you're interested in buying a t-shirt, just message me like you guys been doing on Facebook. Like I said, my Facebook will be in the description in the comment section below. And message me what kind of color you want, message me the logo you want, and we can talk and I can get it shipped out to you. And if you live in Wisconsin, just do it like y'all been doing, and I can just get it delivered to you the same day or even shipped out. So let me know if you're interested in a t-shirt. Like on Facebook, check out my website, NasaPlayground.com. I'm gone, and let me know. Do you think he's a bust? Do you think his career is over? Do you think he should never got a chance with the Pelicans? Or do you think at the end of the day, he's good enough to still be in the NBA and he's still got a lot of room to grow and he can possibly correct his career because he's only 22 years old and won't be 23 until next year when the season starts again. So let me know what you guys think about Jahlil Okafor in the comment section below. And it's a sad thing. We seen this happen to a lot of players, and I like what he was doing his rookie year, but to see him barely making the NBA roster at the last minute, that's not a good sign for him. But if he can get back to giving you double digits off the bench, he might find a niche in the NBA.